Good morning. Doing a little old school this morning. I've got the camera aimed at big screen, showing some of the waterfalls that I've been to. The outside weather is not very conducive to going live. This is White Waterfalls, and that section right there is 100-foot tall. And a third of the waterfall is behind those trees at the bottom. Hey, Christina. Yeah, the weather wasn't too good, so I just come inside and I'm playing some of my waterfall videos. There we go. All of these are just a few hours north of you, Christina. Now that's Linville Falls. Only about half of Linville Falls is visible. This is at the top of the falls. See how it does a 90-degree turn right there in that crevasse. It did another 90 degrees. This is Stone Mountain, North Carolina. And that last one was a waterfall that you can walk behind. This is kind of rapid fire. And the color comes through pretty good. Good morning, Miss Joyax. We've got nothing but gray skies and rain here, so this is my get around. And this is the waterfall that has the heart at the bottom. I didn't even see the heart at the bottom until I got home and was going through the videos. I never got video of it, but on the other side of the river right there was a black bear. I'm underwater here. Morning, good morning, good evening to you. Thank you for coming in. I like to get up close and personal. If my arms had been a little longer, I could have stuck my camera behind that waterfall. Good morning, Misty. It was rainy and a dreary day, so I just pointed the camera at a screen, and I'm playing some of my waterfall videos. That's why I'm constantly going to waterfalls. One of the ones in the videos here I go to every week. And there's 2 or 3 that I go to at least once a month. Now this little waterfall here is right by the road. You see that the road there on the right? I mean, you don't even have to get out of your car to see this one. But of course, I got out and walked around a little bit. You can hear the cars going by. And Christina, this one is really close to you because it's in South Carolina. This is really a little walk, but I included it in the waterfalls because I'm right by a waterfall the entire time. Get to the top of that waterfall and there's another waterfall. I understand. Now that waterfall we're looking at there, 6 or 7 foot tall. I don't think I had my phone secured because every time I take a step it shakes. This is Twin Falls. It's also in South Carolina. And there had been a big storm. All those trees laid down in front of the camera there. And they were washed there from that one storm. And just a few weeks later, they got another big storm. And about a year later, that big hurricane came through. That was last year. Last October, I think. That was a good sized waterfall. That's probably 50 foot. This one is downtown Greenville, South Carolina. Good morning, Dragon. And you can see the shadow of the skyway. It's a curved walkway. Christina, not many people go to that waterfall. When I was living in South Carolina, I would go there often. And at the most, there was maybe 2 families there when I was there. And most of the time, I had it all to myself. Just like here. 99% of the time I have this waterfall all to myself. But I kind of go during the week, so that helps. This one shifted a little blue in the camera. And there's a place to sit at the top left of this waterfall. You can see the bench. Oh, we have Hong Kong in the house. Yes. That park that I go to weekly, the bench is right here. That park I go to weekly for hiking and exercise. In the 80s, they almost closed it down because of lack of attendance. And they've got over 21 miles of trail. They've got 5 waterfalls, 3 peaks that you can hike to the top. Josella, if I mispronounced your name, I apologize. But very pleased to have you here. This was after a heavy rain, so the water volume is high, but as you can see, it's muddy. We have a lot of mud in North Carolina, this part of the state anyway. yeah, it's got its good parts. Misty, you're in a pretty good place too, because it's not that far for you to drive to. You could get to Laurel Falls and Meigs Falls instead of taking a right at the Y and going to Cades Cove. Take a left, and you can see some waterfalls, a couple of them, without even getting out of your car. And Laurel Falls is a very easy hike. I mean, the trail is paved the whole way to the waterfall. I think I got Laurel Falls in here. I'm not sure. My last trip to Tennessee, I wanted to video Laurel Falls, but it was so crowded. Even hiking down to the falls in Cades Cove, it was packed. I had to dodge people. The only good part about that day hiking is nobody can accuse me of speeding up the video to make it look like I'm walking faster than I actually am. Because I was walking by a lot of people on the trail. Misty, there's some waterfalls west of you I'd like to go to. Over toward Cooksville, I think it is. Well, thank you, Christina. I know that you're always swamped. You have a job and family. And technically, you're kind of still a newlywed. Yeah, I appreciate Christina coming by. You take care, Christina. Part of the river is 150 to 200 foot wide. Right in this section anyway. amazing people. And the way the sunlight's coming in right there, it kind of looks like a spade. All I'm doing is I'm playing one on my playlist. It's the Waterfalls playlist. This is one of those waterfalls I go to at least once a month. Sometimes 2 or 3 times a month. Misty, I was brainstorming more questions and songs to answer with, and I might have 2 more interviews. I will have one probably by this coming Friday. We are looking at Lower Cascade Falls. It was a dreary, rainy day, so I'm just playing some of my videos. I like the way the rock wall on the left comes up and cuts over the pool below. About half of that pool that we're looking at is under a rock shelter, the part on the left. I do too. This is my playlist of waterfalls, and I'm just playing them on one screen, and have a camera aimed at the screen, because I don't have the ability to play directly. Anybody who likes waterfalls, come and check out this playlist. Just go to Jim's Camera at Dawn and playlist. I've got a playlist for about everything. The main two playlists are waterfalls and mountaintops. And the ones that are mountaintops are just the view from the top once I get there. And then I've got a playlist of all my hikes for you people that like to hear the crunch, 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 crunch. And I've got one of this one right here. It's covered with icicles. They're about 7 foot long, the icicles. Hopefully I can do some more canoeing this year. I've only got one canoe video. I've got couple of videos of me on top of that cliff to the left looking down at the waterfall. I get bored. Super Dave, good morning. And this is just a little downstream from the waterfall. I enjoy you guys joining me for coffee. Super Dave, I've got my videos playing on one screen and just the camera aimed at, because it was a dreary rainy day here. Renslow, good evening. This one here, the total length of this one video, I think, is about 20 minutes. Just off screen to the right is one of the best places there to accidentally run into snakes. totally agree. It's just a dark spot. There's an overhang, but I wouldn't really call it a cave. The rocks to the left overhang quite a bit also. Seven amazing people. I think there's one more section to it. It shows the rapids on the right hand side. Thank you as well. I appreciate all of y'all coming in for morning coffee. It's pretty cold. A good portion of this water comes from a spring. But during the summertime, that pool at the top left of the rock there, below the big waterfall, it'll be filled up with people wading around and laying down in the water. And when I did that honk honk video, the joke video, I went wading out into it. It wasn't terribly cold. Again, I had this place all to myself. while the camera was on the tripod, I was over to the left, seated, eating a sandwich, having a picnic. Super Dave, you're kind of close to Twin Falls, which was earlier video. Twin Falls is probably an hour and a half, 2 hours north of you. I don't know exactly where you live, but it's in the upstate. No, but I would like to visit it. Super Dave, how long does it take you to get to the mall in Columbia? Oh, I thought you were closer than that. I used to live in Columbia. That's a close-up of those rapids. been in the area. I've never been to Holly's Island. Had I known at the time that I would be doing videos on YouTube, I would have videoed walking across the bridge in Charleston. That bridge is gorgeous. They have submarine, a battleship, and I think a small aircraft carrier anchored there. Yeah, it's a nice place to visit. I want to be closer to the mountains. About the end of this. Yeah, I kind of got my feet in this one. See, just little steps like that. And you notice how just about every waterfall is just slightly different in sound. This one almost sounds like a shower. This is one of those waterfalls you can walk behind. I've walked all around that waterfall. I stood at the left-hand side at the top. On the right-hand side, climbed up that little crevice right there. At the top of this waterfall is a rock wall with a fairly round hole in it, and that's how it's got its name, Window Falls. There's another waterfall just a couple of dozen feet upstream from the top of this waterfall. Now this is a small stream in Highlands, close to Highlands I should say, is Dry Falls, and it is a major river, and you can walk behind the waterfall there, and I've got a video of it also. In the summertime, people hike down to this waterfall that's on now, and they'll stand in it like a shower. And I walk up, and I don't go behind it because I don't want to get the camera wet, but I walk up to it and let you see that you can walk behind it. I think it was about 50 degrees when I was there that day. think when I'm finished with this live, I'll go back in and I'll post a link to this playlist. And notice how dry it is to the right. That's because that rock is an overhang, and if it was pouring down the rain and you didn't mind getting a little dirty, you could get in under that rock and be totally dry. You never know, Super Dave. The only reason the North Carolina Gold Rush isn't remembered very well is because the California Gold Rush came years later, and for whatever reason that became more famous. There was a guy not far from Charlotte. He had this big hunk of rock he was using for a doorstop. Somebody came to visit him and they asked him where he got it. He said it's nothing special, it's just a rock. It was a hunk of gold. And there's a lot of rubies and sapphires. Now, I don't do any gem hunting or panning, but that's part of the tourist attractions around here. You can find all kinds of places that'll let you search for stuff in rivers. Again, it's a touristy type setup. Even this part of the state that I'm in, which is away from, I'm in the foothills, really. Somebody digs a well, they'll go through the spoils to make sure there's no garnets or rubies in it. This one woman I know, her dad builds houses, so she goes whenever they dig the well, and she goes through the spoils, and she found quite a few things. There you can see the rock overhang. I mean, there's a reason one of the towns here is named Sapphire. This is the stream up in Stone Mountain. guys, the coffee cup's dry, and I got clothes in the dryer that I need to hang up before they get wrinkled. So I'm going to cut this short. Within an hour or so, I'll have posted in the comments of this video the link to the playlist if anybody's interested in watching. I appreciate y'all joining me for coffee and watching a few waterfalls and streams.